The Sun Star was investigated for 10 months. We were accused of sexual harassment for an April Fool's article and an investigative piece focusing on a Facebook page. I'm Lakita Chavis. I'm studying psychology and French at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and I'm the current editor of the Sun Star.
Doing an April Fool's Day edition of the Sun Star is something that's just been a tradition. You just get to stop being serious and actually reporting news for a week and just write a whole bunch of jokes.
The editors looked through some fun stars and saw this phallic joke or this penis joke.
There's a penis-shaped snowman in front of the freshman dorm.
I suggested that we write about a giant vagina building.
I got a phone call from a professor saying she was filing a complaint.
They asked us to take the article down from our website.
The complaint said that this clearly satirical, protected by the First Amendment article constituted sexual harassment.
I was poking fun at the culture that we live in.
We didn't take the article down from the website.
This complaint, fortunately, was thrown out by the university without an investigation.
About 2 weeks after we published the Fun Star issue, we published an investigative piece by one of our reporters, Annie Bartholomew, who wrote about the UAF Confessions page.
Pull it up on your Facebook and see all these terrible things that people would say.
The goal with the article was just to say, hey, like, this is what's going on our campus. We write the news so people know what they need to know.
The same professor who had filed the complaint earlier filed another complaint against the paper saying that, like the last one, this article constituted sexual harassment. She also called it cyberbullying. She referred to the content as slanderous.
On the UAF Confessions Facebook page, someone had posted this really derogatory comment regarding Liz Wallace's sexuality. The reporter was able to tell her, you know, what she was doing, and we thought her voice would be really beneficial to this piece.
Liz Wallace was like, no, please include my name, and also I have all of these things to say.
She clearly wanted to be named so she could stick up for herself.
Annie had a screenshot, and she circled one of the comments in there to like illustrate a point.
Because the comments are anonymous, you can see who they are.
This doesn't rise to the test in the university regulations, in Alaska state law, or under Title IX, the federal law. There is no sexual harassment here.
This time, UAF did an investigation into the content, not just of that article, but of the satirical article from before. And this investigation took all through the summer, and the report wasn't released until September, which, again, fully exonerated the newspaper of all the accusations against it.
The complainer said you didn't look at it through the right lens, you need to look at it through Title IX.
She appealed it again. Then it went to a lawyer in Anchorage for independent review, and that lasted from late October until late January.
10 months was just crazy, and I mean, it should have taken 10 days.
Fire got involved in January 2014. We wrote a letter to the university explaining the chilling effect that the repeat investigations were having on the newspaper.
I think student speech was chilled.
When I first was hired as editor, I was really excited because I had all of these ideas on covering sexual assault and how our campus deals with it.
And there was even an article that was worked on for a while about reporting and how to report, and it interviewed the police department here on campus and interviewed the Women's Center, and that actually never got published.
It was really hard. I was definitely afraid that people would be offended by what I wrote.
It couldn't satisfy everyone. It's like, oh, is this going to offend somebody?
Finally, in February, a couple of weeks after we'd written our letter, the university released the results of this new investigation and exonerated the paper once and for all.
I really appreciate Fire really working hard and really supporting us and writing that letter to the chancellor. Like, that was awesome.
The university spent a lot of time and probably a lot of money as well establishing what Fire could have told them in 5 minutes for nothing, which is that there was never anything to investigate at all, that the newspaper's content was clearly protected, and that it should enjoy the highest protections of the First Amendment.
It's important, you know, especially for student newspapers, to just stand up for what they believe in. We help keep the university accountable. If I had to do it again, I think I definitely would.